What's going on, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, and I'm really hyped to showcase y'all my new age Pepes. Pepes are definitely like back. It's not literally Pepes, it's Pendulum Magicians, but like I said, it's the new age Pepe. It's like ridiculously strong. It's so stupid, man. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like it absolutely makes zero sense. Like the deck is just so overpowered. It's like it's hard to like say, you know, if Pepe before it got hit was stronger than this. Like I think the only thing that would make this deck retarded is if Joker, I'm sorry, if Skullful Bat Joker was like back, but like the ban list just made this deck so freaking strong. In addition to it already being powerful with the new support from Pendulum Evolution and Duelist Alliance and just all this good support, like this deck is just so stupid. I'm really sad about Dinlong and the Thosa Gym. Like I really am upset about that, but nonetheless, I always figure stuff out. And I mastered the deck to the point where it's like, it doesn't matter what cards they take away, I always find a way to play around it. And my deck's still really strong. With this deck right here, I wanted to showcase this because a lot of people were asking to see it. In addition to that, when the day that Wavering Eyes got off the ban list was yesterday, first of all. Wavering Eyes literally came back yesterday. I literally got my Wavering Eyes yesterday. I was like, you know what? No joke, like this card, Wavering Eyes and Duelist Alliance are about to like spike in price immediately. So a smart man would get yours right now. But anyways, this is definitely a euphoric thing. Like I finally get to play basically Pepe in a way, because I didn't really play that deck in the format. It was like way too fast, and what ended up happening was by the time like I could even afford the deck, it was already banned. It was like that fast. It was like a 2-week format practically. Not like literally, but like the format wasn't even long. But anyways, we're gonna hop right into this deck profile. So starting off with the main deck, we play 3 Astrograph Sorcerer. This is a very powerful hand trap like monster. He's strong even in the mirror match, like extremely strong. Like you can't actually resolve him on your opponent's turn if your opponent wins the dice roll and goes first, but you can resolve him like after that anytime. Basically, like to meet the conditions to fulfill it, to use his effect, all that has to happen is a card that you control has to be destroyed by battle or card effect. That's how you meet the condition and the requirement for his effect. Then you can special summon him, and then you can target a banished monster, a monster in your extra deck or in the graveyard. Basically, any monster that was destroyed this turn, and you add a copy of that with the same name from your deck to your hand. For example, let's say you use your Time Pendulum Graph. You use its effect to pop like your double iris, right? Then you meet the requirements. You meet the requirements to bring out Astrograph. So you can put the chain links accordingly. Whatever this could be, chain link 1 or 2, it doesn't really matter, like depending on the matchup. So basically, like that's just an example. This will literally set him up, right? So let's say you pop one of your scales, then you bring him out, and whatever you pop with Pendulum Graph. Let's say, for example, you don't have double iris. Let's say like you use Pendulum Graph and you pop Purple Poison, and then you use this. You target Purple Poison, and you target your opponent's double iris. That's just for an example. You'll pop the iris and the Purple Poison, and then you'll meet the requirements for him because the card you control is destroyed. You'll special summon him, and guess what? You get to search a copy of double iris from your deck to your hand because you killed your opponent's double iris, and he can add a copy of any card that was destroyed this turn. It doesn't have to be yours. That's what makes it really broken, and it's totally legal. I'm not lying to you. So you can literally like search off of your opponent's play. It's almost like True Draco Heritage in the mirror match. Like you can kill your opponent's Draco cards and then play Heritage and draw off of it. Like this is a similar concept where you plus off of your opponent's cards and destroy your opponent's cards and then get a search off of it. So like let's say you don't have, like let's just say you don't have Harmonizing Magician, right? And you're like, dude, I need a Harmonizing Magician. But your opponent has an Harmonizing Magician in the mirror match. This is just an example. You can pop the Harmonizing Magician with any effect that you have. Purple Poison, Time Pendulum Graph. You can pop it. That turn, it was destroyed. So if you find a way to pop any of your cards that you control, you can special summon him and search a Harmonizing Magician that your opponent controls that was destroyed by you. And even now that Wavering Eyes is off the ban list, Wavering Eyes helps you to combo off even further with Astrograph, because you can clear in the mirror match your opponent's scales, and then you will meet the requirements for Astrograph because you destroyed your own scales. You can not only search off of the Wavering Eyes and your double iris if you popped him, but then you get to use Astrograph to search for any copy of your opponent's scales that you want. If your opponent had Luster, Pendulum, or just any, it's like, am I making sense here? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about this card for 10 minutes. Am I making sense? Like, I explained this card thoroughly enough. His hand trap effect is really stupid, and you can also make Zark with this card. Like, this is your 1-card Zark, basically. You really don't want to drop Zark early. This is like your, similar to Masterpiece. In my opinion, it's just like your trump card. It's one of the cards you want to save later in the game. When you drop it at the right time, you're not going to lose if you drop it at the right time. It's really strong. So Astrograph is an absolute must-have at 3. Every time I make Time Star, I search him, because Time Star Magician is like the only way you can really search him, because he's a sorcerer, not a magician, and he doesn't have Pendulum in his name. So it's kind of like the only way you can search him. In addition to that, we're playing 3, because like I said, he's like a hand trap basically in the mirror match. And mirror matches are actually going to come up a lot more, because like a lot of people are just really going to want to play Pendulums again, because they're really good. Like, they are. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really laugh at the idiots that said all Pendulums are going to be dead in Link format. Like, look how stupid you look now. So he's just a really, really strong card. And even so, like, he has versatility and applications outside of this archetype, because his effect says if a card you control is destroyed, you basically special summon him, and then you add a copy of a monster that was destroyed this turn. It could be any monster, like any monster. If your opponent is stupid and sets an Ash, you can attack the Ash and search an Ash. Like, there's so many things you could do with this card outside of his own deck. I could sit here and talk about him for 10 minutes, like I said, but we're going to leave him alone now. He's just really one of the best cards in the deck. Next up, we play 3 copies of Double Iris Magician. Double Iris is just insane. The fact that this card is not once per turn makes it even more stupid. Just not fair at all. Like, this deck pluses like crazy off of searching. Just off of searching, you're plussing. Like, just ridiculous. Like, there's a combo I opened up with, like, where I had ended up using Wisdom Eye's effect and then brought out Astrograph, search for another Wisdom Eye, and then scaled up for Luster, and I used Wisdom Eye to play Double Iris in my scale. Then I scaled up for no, I'm sorry. I'm explaining it wrong. I didn't use Wisdom Eye for the that turn. It was like a different combo. Wisdom Eye was something. I'm mixing up 2 different combos from 2 different turns. The turn I'm talking about, it was when I used Luster on Double Iris. Like, I lustered for Double Iris, and I had searched for Pendulum Graph, and then I used Luster to search for Double Iris. Then I normal Joker in search for Pendulum Sorcerer, and then I Pendulum summoned for the Sorcerer and for the Double Iris from hand, and the Double Iris that I popped from my extra deck. Then I used Sorcerer's effect to pop the Double Iris, and I popped, I think, like Luster, and I ended up like searching off of, I think I popped both the Double Irises or something like that, but basically I ended up searching off of Iris again. Luster, I searched off of the Pendulum Sorcerer. I got 2 cards off of that, and then an extra card off of Iris, and then another card off of Time Pendulum Graph. I basically ended up searching 4 cards off of one play. Like, dude, like, the play confuses me thinking about it. Like, I did it, but it was so much going on. Like, I was like making my head hurt. Like, it was just really, really stupid. Like, this deck is crazy. Like, if you really know what you're doing, you can do some crazy stuff with this deck. Like, that combo I just explained, it was so crazy that I didn't really even know what I was doing. I was just like, oh my god, I think I can do this. And then I did it. I was like, oh, okay, this is crazy. Like, this is stupid. That's just like one of the crazy nutty combos you can do in this deck. This deck has a lot. Like, I really think you have to be good to play this deck. You really do, because it requires so much thinking. Like, anybody can read the cards and be like, all right, I'm going to use this effect, but to think of the extensive combos and what goes hand in hand with what and how you can use this card with that card and make extensive plays and end up replenishing all the resources that you use, this deck can literally make, like, the boards it makes are just free. Like, you go first, whatever board you make, it'll more than likely be free, and you'll still end with the +1. It's insane. Like, the deck literally just makes free boards. So if you break the board, doesn't matter. It costs me 0 resources. Then we're playing 3 copies of Wisdom Eye. Wisdom Eye is just really, really strong. I look at him as a searcher because he's any magician you want, and the fact that he destroys himself actually enables you to trigger your Astrograph and combo off even further. It's really stupid. Like, the combos are so extensive in this deck. So triple Wisdom Eye Magician, and he is not once per turn, so he's really strong with Oath Dragon. Then we have 3 copies of Performing Power Skullcrobat Joker. He's extremely powerful. I really like this card a lot. A lot of people play him at 2. I love him at 3. If I open up with him, I'm happy because he searches for any of the magicians. Like, this deck has too much searching. It really does. Like, later on in the duel, you'll find that you'll run out of targets because you searched out everything. So you'll draw, like, Dead Duelist Alliance. You'll draw Dead Pendulum Calls. It's a good thing. It just says that your deck is that freaking broken that you just search way too much. It really does. Like, it's over. Like, that's why I look at this like the new age Pepe. It's just really, really strong. Joker searches for anything. I really want to play Odd Eyes in this deck. just to have the level 7 synergy for rank 7s. But it's like the deck is already full of so much different cards. I just didn't know. I was like, I could play Sky Iris, pop double Iris, search off double Iris and Sky Iris. I thought about all these crazy combos I could do with cards that I'm not playing. So yeah, double Perform Pop Pendulum Sorcerer. This guy is one of the most powerful combo extenders in this deck. It just makes it really, really stupid. Like, this guy really saves you a lot, because also when you have Luster, which we're moving forward right here to the double Luster, the ban list put him back at 2. When you have Luster in your skill, like sometimes you need to combo off with your Wisdom Eye, or you want to. So like Pendulum Sorcerer will actually clear the dead cards in your scales, like for example this. Or if you've already done the Lizard Draw Good Turtle combo, you need to clear one out of your scale. You don't want to waste your Time Graph, or you don't have Time Graph to clear your scale. You use Perform a Pop Pendulum Sorcerer to clear your dead scales, so you can play fresh Magicians and combo off with that. Because Wisdom Eye and Oath Dragon, which we play 2 Oath Dragon, you have to have either a Magician for Wisdom Eye, you have to have a Magician or a Performer Pal. But Wisdom Eye, with Oath Dragon, you have to have a Magician and your other scale. So sometimes you really need to clear your scale. So what I'm saying is, Pendulum Sorcerer is really, really strong and helps you out in more ways than one in this deck. Like, you just combo off a lot, and you have to think a lot. Like, this deck requires so much thinking. Double Oath Dragon. He doesn't search like the other 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16 cards. But what he does do is recycle basically everything in your deck. This is like your mid to late game extender. He also extends very, very strongly with your Wisdom Eye. So it's like a crazy combo where you just recycle for free and then combo off again with your scale. But I don't want to open up with him because he's like that recovery play. It's never something I personally would ever play at 3. Like, never. I just don't want to draw him. And like, you search him so much. Like, there's no reason to play him at 3 because you can search him. And he's not like super duper strong in your opening hand going first. And that basically sums up the card economy plays. Like, all these plays keep your hand fat and loaded and ready to go, so that no matter what happens, you always have the resources to re-establish yourself. Next up, we play 3 copies of Harmonizing Magician. She is like one of the most broken 1-card plays. She's so stupid. And her skill effect actually helps you a lot. Like, this deck can do a lot of damage. Like, there's a combo where you can basically go Black Fang effect in his scale to make a monster's attack half. Then you pop him special from grave. And then you go double Iris effect to double the damage, pop him effect. Then you can use him again. It's not once per turn. It's not a hard once per turn. Then you can use a scale again if you have another one. Double the damage again, pop effect. Then you finally scale up with purple and Harmonizing. Harmonizing will give whatever magician, like, the best way to do it is you want to use all those the boost effects on your astrograph. So like when you're doing your double Iris to make the monster's damage, whatever damage it inflicts between a monster, double, you're using double Iris on astrograph, pop effect. And of course, as I explained, you use your where's he at? Your Black Fang, which he's right here. I just showed him. You use your Black Fang to half the monster's attack, pop effect, special from grave. And then once you've halved your opponent's monster's attack and made sure that this monster will do double damage twice, then you'll scale all of your magicians, including this. I'm sorry, not including this guy, but every other magician will have additional attack, like 100 times the different names. So you'll beef them up like extremely high, and then you use his effect and damage step to give it an extra 1200. That's a lot of damage that you can do in one turn, because in addition to that, whatever astrograph attacks, it's going to be doubled. And you don't even have to use it on astrograph. That's just an example. You can use it on any dark spellcaster. So you can use double Iris on double Iris, and then you'll basically have him doubling any damage he does. You half the monster. So let's say a monster had 2800. He's at 14, right? This could do half, and then he's gaining 1200 plus 100 for all it. Like, am I making sense? This deck it could just do so much damage. It's just stupid. It's really, really stupid. Triple Harmonizing Magician. I just wanted to show you guys like one of those combos where you could just like put so much pressure and damage on the board. It just doesn't make sense. And obviously, she's just like a 1-card play. You pimp summon her from your hand. Pimp summon, not pendulum summon. Like a pimp. And you use her effect special from deck and just combo off from there. Like, she's one of the easiest first turn plays to make. And it just makes it like Link format doesn't really hurt the deck, especially because of her. She's really, really strong. She doesn't search, but she is one of the best cards to search. Then we play 2 copies of Purple Poison. I actually like this guy a lot. Like, he's really extensive for the combos. Like, there was a combo when it was involving Pendulum Sorcerer again, and a double Iris and Scale and a double Iris on the field. So I had Iris and Scale, and then an Iris on the field, and I pimp summoned for Pendulum Sorcerer. I had Iris and Purple Poison. So what I ended up doing, where's Pendulum Sorcerer at? Because this is a really, really cool combo, and I wanted to show you this. I was like, okay, I want to use both my Irises to search, but the problem is I need to clear both of my scales so I can play Turtle and Lizard Draw. So what I did in the combo was I Pendulum Summon, I popped these two, effect. So I did Pendulum Sorcerer. He already resolved, so after he resolved, I put double Iris's Chain Link 1 and Purple Poison as Chain Link 2 to protect myself from whatever it is if they didn't stop the Pendulum Sorcerer. And then I used Purple Poison to pop the Iris that was in the Monster Zone, and then use double Iris to search Time Pendulum Graph, and use the other Iris to search Star Pendulum Graph. Like, that combo was stupid. Like, I just wanted to share that combo with you guys because it literally, like, I thought about it. Like, I was like, wait a minute. I can really do this. Like, that's why I really wanted to showcase, like, that, at least, for example, and the other one I showed you earlier, just to explain, like, this deck has such extensive plays, and as long as you think it through and you really know what you're doing, and, like, you're a good duelist, like, you're good at Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can play this deck like a freaking boss. 2 Purple Poison, I love him. He's such a great, powerful card. You don't always have to pop your opponents. You can use him to pop your own combo out. He even helps you to clear scales because it's a you can use him on Monster Zone, pop him, and clear a scale that you didn't really want. Like, this deck just is so stupid. I really wanted to play him at 3. Like, I really want to so bad because you have a lot of high scales. And even though your low scales are searchable, the point is you have a lot of high scales. So this is like one of the best low scales to play. Like, he's one of my favorite low scales. I might play him at 3. I don't know. Like, I really have been on edge about bumping this card up because I really like him a lot. And 2100 booty. 1 Black Fang and 1 White Wing. Black Fang was another card where I was like, you know, I could definitely bump him up. But, like, you recycle everything with Time Star. You recycle everything with Oath Dragon. You Pendulum Summon it back. Don't forget it's Pendulum, so everything comes back. So it just came down to, like, you know what, we'll play 1 and 1 because you still want to make Zark. So it just really helps a lot. But he is really clutch, like, because I've used him to revive Time Star Dragon, Time Star Magician from my graveyard to the main Monster Zone, and then use Time Star Magician's effect for when Pendulums would be destroyed, and your Scaler in the Monster Zone send a Spellcaster from your deck to the grave instead. Like, I literally used his effect and brought Time Star back to the main Monster Zone, and then used him to protect myself to combo off a Time Pendulum Graph so I could destroy a card and send one from the field to the grave. Like, dude, man, I figured so much out with this deck in like a day. It was just stupid. Like, I can't wait to see how much more I figure out the longer I play this deck. Like, this is just a really, really good deck. It is. The one Lizard Draw and 1 Turtle for the combo. I really didn't want to play multiples because I hate drawing them. I just prefer to search them off of Sorcerer, and you have like basically 5 Sorcerers because, well, not really 5, because not only is Sorcerer searchable off of your 3 Jokers, but your Joker's searchable off of Time Star. So, like, you have too many ways to get to this combo. It's just perfect at 1 and 1 because you really only want to resolve 1 per duel anyways. It's like an extensive combo that kind of gets you further ahead as far as resources. And moving forward to spells, 3 Wavering Eyes, the spell that just should never came back but is back. Like, because this spell is back, you're actually going to be using it a lot in mirror matches, which makes it broken because you can basically add a Wavering Eyes from deck to hand, banish a card on field, add a Scale or a Pendulum monster, basically just any Pendulum monster, and then burn your opponent for 500, and it's not once per turn. Like, in the mirror match, whoever draws this card first has a very, very high advantage over the other person. They might not win, but they still might just win just because of this spell. It's really, really extensive. It helps you to combo off with Astrograph Sorcerer because it does pop scales, and, you know, if you pop double Iris or Purple Poison or like Black Fang, it's just like a really stupid extensive spell. It's more broken in Pendulum Magicians because of their scale effects. When you pop them in scale, you still get their effects if they're destroyed. It's just really, really extensive. Triple Wavering Eyes, like, this is a spell I could talk about all day. Like, this card was banned for a reason. I don't know why it's back. It's just stupid powerful. Like, it's just really, really stupid. 3 copies of Duelist Alliance. This is just such a great card. It's spiking up in price too. It's at like 23 bucks. You better pick it up soon because it's just going to keep spiking. Wavering Eyes is already at like 10 bucks. That's just retarded. 3 copies of Pendulum Call. I like it at 3 because in a mirror match, your opponent's more than likely going to Wavering Eyes you. You need to have Pendulum Call to search your scales that they just cleared with their Wavering Eyes because you need to still be able to Pendulum Summon. If you can't get scales, you're probably going to lose because Wavering Eyes just gave them so much advantage. They're going to kill you next turn. So basically, if they Wavering Eyes you, you really need Pendulum Call as like a secondary, basically extender or recovery play to make sure you get enough resources to kill your opponent before they kill you. That is why I play 3. A lot of people don't like to play 3, but it's just my personal choice. I like it a lot. I know you can search it off with Duelist Alliance, but I still like it at 3 because it's really strong for the mirror match and it helps you out a lot. Twin twisters, all that good stuff. I mainly use it as an extender to search backup scales if I lose them. But if not, it sets you up first turn amazingly because your scales can be destroyed, and Time Pendulum Graph is just insane with that because you pop and then send one to grave. 3 copies of Star Pendulum Graph. This is just really, really stupid. I like it at 3 also because if you open up with this, you can then use Double Iris to just search this out. I don't play a time at 3 because I just don't like drawing traps in this deck. It's a really, really powerful, fast-paced deck that doesn't really need traps. Like, you can play strikes and all that, but the deck just, it's all gas and practically no breaks. And then for the draw power of the deck, we play double Desires and double Ignite Reload. That's like literally the only draw power aside from this little combo right here. The deck searches a lot, so I wanted some form of draw power. These are pluses. Desires obviously a generic +1. And Ignite Reload helps you out a lot in this deck. I don't know why Pendulum players aren't playing this. This is generic. It's for Metal Foes, any Pendulum deck. It fixes your brick hands. It fixes your brick hands. It's extensive with Wavering Eyes because when you play Wavering Eyes on your opponent on his turn, if you have this set, basically, let's say you have 0 cards in hand. You activate this, clear your opponent's scales and your scales. Then you get a search off of this. 2 searches. You have a Wavering Eyes in hand and a Pendulum scale. You activate this, shuffle the scale. You draw 2 cards. So now you have 3 cards in hand and you started with none. Or you ended with none. So like, it's great for recovery plays. It's really, really reactive. It's just so strong. I like it a lot. It's like a plus. Even though you can't draw for the rest of the turn, like the only way you're going to draw aside from this effect is like Desires and the Turtle Lizard Draw combo. And you're going to resolve those first before you play this card if you're smart. And 2 Time Pendulum Graphs to sum up the main deck. This is really, really strong for the mirror match because its first effect says your opponent cannot target spellcasters with trap effects. So if you get this first in the mirror match, your opponent can't actually use Time Pendulum Graph on your monsters. They can only use it on your scales or on this if they're smart. But it's really strong in the mirror match, as I explained. Just really, really broken. Like, there's a lot more information that I wanted to give, but this deck profile can't be too long. I have a lot more information to share because I've learned a lot about this deck, and I'm getting really good with this deck really, really fast. 1 Supreme King Zark, 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. That's it for the fusions. 1 Ignister, 1 BLs, 1 Scarlight for the mirror match, and just for World Chalices and like decks that special summon too much, you punish them. Like you have a 1-card Scarlight off of your Harmonizing Magician. She's literally just a 1-card synchro play. Sync with Harmonizing, make this, blow everything up, and just go off with your own stuff. It's just really, really stupid. 1 Omega, because he's just so easy to make, and he's great. He's an extensive play. He returns to the main monster zone. After he returns to the field, it's just really strong. 4 Synchros, 2 Fusions. The rest are just XYZs, 2 Rank 7s, 1 Absolute, and 1 Draco Sack. Absolute's really, really strong because when he leaves, you get to special summon Vortex. And Vortex obviously is just going to be a Cyber Dragon Infinity, and he's going to be like a thorn in your opponent's side. And you can also overlay with them to make Draco Sack if need be so. But you play these 2 Rank 7s to have options. I could play other Rank 7s, but extra deck's kind of tight. And I still want to play Firewall Dragons, which I don't have. I don't have Firewall Dragons, but I will have them in the future. 2 Time Stars. Wanted to play 3, but I chose instead of 3 Time Stars of Magister Paladin. He's really, really good because Time Star is limited to dark spellcasters, but this searches for any Pendulum. So it kind of helps you to fix your hand so that you're set up for your next turn. It's just kind of something I'm testing out at 1. Like, it's not something like it's absolutely mandatory, but I was like, you know, instead of 3 Time Star, let's try out the Magister Paladin. He's really, really strong. I like him a lot, and he's just like an extender. Like, when you do like this really broken opening, when you have the resources, you can basically go decode Time Star, Magister Paladin. It's just really, really stupid. But you have to Pendulum summon like a lot of monsters from your hand to do so. But still, it's really, really cool. Like, it's just really, really cool. So this is like an extender. Like, really, that's what it is. So in the future, it might just be cut and turned into a 3rd Time Star because Time Star is really, really strong. But I've been using Black Fang a lot lately to bring back Time Star because its best effect to me is the one to protect your monsters. If they would be destroyed, they're not. So it's just really, really strong. His searching effect is cool because it actually searches, adds from extra deck or graveyard to hand. Then we have Castel, Trapeze Magician for the OTKs. The only links that I have are like the only ones that I have really. Like, it's not like they're good, but they're good enough because they're still links, they still have zones. Like, you decode and then link proxy to it, and it's just like bam, bam. You know, you have zones so you can special from your extra deck more than once now. Because you're still playing Pendulums, and not all the time do you want to Pendulum summon from hand. And this just makes it so that you can make like crazy plays, like you can go Ignister and then Absolute. Use Ignister's effect to pop Purple Poison Magician in the scale. Purple Poison, you'll shuffle a card, then use Purple Poison's effect you can either pop one of your opponent's cards, or you can just use Purple Poison to pop your Absolute Dragon. Like, this was a combo I did myself, where I did decode, made this, use this, pop this, shuffle my opponent's card, Purple Poison, pop this, and then this brought out Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon from the extra deck. Then I bounced, and I just, like, went for a huge push for game. Like, dude, I'm mastering this deck so quick. It's crazy. Like, I don't think I've ever learned to play a deck this fast before. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for True King Invoked Shaddoll Artifact. No, True King Invoked Shaddoll Princesses. Stay tuned for Shino Birds. We got that finally. Stay tuned for Draco Satellite Knights, and stay tuned for my updated Herald of Perfection deck. Mwah. I'll see y'all later.